Has your doctor ever told you your labs are normal, but you don't feel normal? You're exhausted, moody, gaining weight, and just not feeling like yourself? Maybe you're starting to wonder if it's all in your head. Well, I assure you it's not. Today, I'm going to share why normal labs don't always mean that you're healthy, how this shows up for women over 40, and why this is one of the biggest reasons women come to work with us in the perimenopause method. So, first, I want to talk about lab ranges because this is where there's a lot of confusion. When you get your blood work done, your results are compared to something called the reference range. And that range is based on the average of everyone who's ever gotten tested in that lab. And that includes people who are sick, on medications, or living with chronic conditions. So being in the normal range is kind of comparing you to an unhealthy population. It doesn't mean that you're at an optimal feel good level. So here's an analogy. It's like saying that your car is fine because it's not completely broken down, but the check engine light has been on for weeks. You wouldn't ignore that in your car, but when it comes to our health, we're often told to wait until things get bad enough to take action. When we look at labs from a functional health perspective, we look for optimal ranges. This is the sweet spot where your body functions at its best. And that difference is huge in how you feel day to day. The other thing is conventional medicine often looks at each lab marker in isolation. Is it high? Is it low? If it's in range, they typically move on. But your body works as a system, and one marker can look okay while another tells a different story. The real insight comes from looking at how these markers relate to each other. For example, we've had many clients come to us with a long list of symptoms, and they share their thyroid labs that their doctor ran, usually TSH, thyroid stimulating hormone, and they were told that it's normal. Their doctor says they're fine. But when we dig deeper and look at other markers like free T3, free T4, reverse T3, and thyroid antibodies, they're often at suboptimal levels, which can absolutely explain fatigue, hair shedding, brain fog, and even weight gain. And while their doctor said everything looked fine, the reality was many of these women were running on low thyroid output, and nobody connected the dots for them. A recent client had been struggling with a lot of fatigue, and we suggested thyroid labs like we do with all of our clients. And when we looked at them, we saw that they were in fact suboptimal. So we made recommendations to discuss with her provider. She started on thyroid hormone replacement, and she said since starting, it has made a huge difference in her energy. She doesn't feel like she's falling asleep every day in the afternoon like she was before. Alongside that, we address minerals because when those are imbalanced, your thyroid under functions. We need minerals to support our thyroid. This is why so many women are stuck for years without answers. They're not getting the right testing and they're not being interpreted properly. And here are some other things that are missed often. Early insulin resistance. Your fasting glucose may look great, but your fasting insulin, which often isn't even tested, is starting to creep up, which means that your body is working harder to keep blood sugar stabilized. And if you listen to other episodes, you know how important it is to keep our blood sugar stabilized in this phase of life. Then there's low-grade inflammation. CRP, which is an inflammation marker, isn't flagged, but it's still higher than ideal, which can affect your mood, your energy, your thyroid, and even your hormones. Then there's nutrient deficiencies. Things like B vitamins, magnesium, or iron can be borderline low and never addressed because they're technically still in range. And then there's cardiovascular disease risk. Most providers only order total cholesterol, HDL, LDL, and triglycerides if you're lucky, but we recommend a much larger lipid panel to assess your cardiovascular health. And in perimenopause, these subtle shifts really do matter because your body is already dealing with declining hormones, which adds fuel to the fire. Every single year, women are told that they're fine when they're not. And for many, those missed years means more frustration, more wasted money on things that don't work, and more strain on their mental health, their work, and their relationships. So if you're in your 40s and you're already feeling the effects of perimenopause, you cannot afford to overlook a lot of this or just told to wait until it gets worse. So inside the perimenopause method, we provide a list of labs to get from your provider, or you can purchase our panel, and then we review your blood work in detail from a functional health perspective. We spot patterns that your doctor most likely misses and pay attention to suboptimal optimal levels, and that helps us create a plan that is truly personalized to you. We combine that with mineral analysis, stool testing if needed, and ongoing support so you finally have answers and a clear path forward. So if you've been told your labs are fine, but you don't feel fine, you do not have to just accept that. Apply to work with us. The link is in the show notes, and let's get you feeling like yourself again. All right, I will see you next week. Hey, before you go, if you're resonating with this podcast and realize that your symptoms are anything but normal, my comprehensive program, the Perimenopause Method, may be a great fit for you. My team and I help women in their mid-30s to early 50s improve symptoms such as fatigue, disrupted sleep, anxiety, erratic moods, bloating, and much more. We do this by utilizing advanced testing, a personalized plan tailored to you, women's health and hormones education, and ongoing support so you never feel alone and you get results. If you're ready to commit to your health and feel like yourself again, but even better, check out the link in the show notes to learn more about the Perimenopause Method. The information provided is for educational and informational purposes only. I am not, nor do I act as a doctor or any other medical professional. I am not providing healthcare, medical services, or attempting to diagnose, treat, prevent, or cure any physical, mental, or emotional disease or condition. The information shared is not intended to be a substitute for the professional medical advice provided by your own medical or mental health provider.